Welcome back to another episode. I'm going to wait for my co-host to start. Put my AirPods in. And we're going to get started. Tonight is going to be so good. I'm so excited. Okay, she's coming on. Hold on, guys. This ain't easy. While we're waiting for Chantrice to join, I see I got some of my friends here. Hey, friends. Hey, guys. I know I'm corny. I already know some of y'all like, Robin's so corny. Okay. Oh, it keeps saying she's unable to join. It says she's, okay, wait, hold on. There you go. Hey, girl. I don't know what happened. Like, it does this every time.
I was about to say every time. Wait, I want to filter. I want to be cute too.
I get them together.
Oh,
I get them
is she
together.
glowing?
Listen, I get them together with the filters. Because y'all not going to catch me with these bags under my eyes.
I be like that sometimes.
So, how you doing? Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday, friend. How you feel? Listen, I got my work phone, y'all, so if she get the ding-a-linging,
I know, I had put my phone on silent, and I put this one on Do Not Disturb. So, welcome to another episode of Grown Women Business. I am your host, Robin Jasmine.
I am Chantrice Shara.
The co-host, Chantrice. So today we are talking about submission. So I titled the episode "Submission Over Sacrifice." I don't know why I keep getting this something over something, but because last one was faith over fear, but whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So
that was a good one too.
It was. So this viral clip that was going around with a popular Instagram comedian. Her name is Watch Jazzy. Beautiful girl. I want to say she's in our age range. She's about early 30s, so similar age to what we are. And she did a podcast interview where she was pretty much saying how she's submissive. So this started like this, all these, what you call them, like barbershop conversations, beauty salon conversations, or conversations amongst people like, what is submission? What does submission look like to you? And then what her definition of submissive was, what she said she does as far as being submissive. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh my God, I can't wait to talk about this. Like, this is
we
dope.
Got to get on it. Yeah.
We got to get on this. We got to talk about it. And then, like in our last conversation, we thought it would be helpful to have a male point of view, to have guests on. So we were actually able to have 2 extra guests today. So we're going to bring them in a moment. And we're going to do a couple of little icebreaker games, and we're just going to, kind of get into the groove. I think everybody should have like them a nice little alcoholic beverage or a little tree, a little tree treat, So I feel like this is going to be really, really good. So I'm going to go ahead and invite both of them into the room, and then we can get started.
Let's go.
And I made sure that both of their pages were not private. Okay, so I invited. I feel like somebody jumping on.
Let's see.
Both of them are at it. Oh, hello. There we go.
Hey, good evening.
How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm well. You ready?
As ready as I'm going to be.
Put your phone on Do Not Disturb. Turn your Wi-Fi on. You are connected. I sent the invite to Dr. Falika. Do you know if she got it? Because I don't got her number.
Wait, I feel like somebody, maybe not. I don't want to.
Wait, let me see. She didn't request to. She can also send me a request too. but I invited her.
Let me see.
Lacario, what are you drinking over there?
Blue margarita.
Blue margarita. Why is it blue? What's the thing for blue?
Has some
Just the color.
coconut berry Red Bull in it.
Okay. Okay. I feel like Chantrice's connection is wavering. Let me see. Well, we got a lot of people that's watching too live. Okay. Did you hear from her?
Did I actually go away?
Did you
I
hear
just
from
sent
her?
a text message. I thought I had missed it.
Oh,
Can you hear me?
no. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Hold on.
So while we're waiting on Dr. Falika, Lacario, did you have a chance to see the viral interview or see that interview or the clips or anything like that prior to?
I'm out.
I'm sorry.
Can you hear me? I said I watched most of it.
Okay. Okay. We got it. Oh yeah, I don't know. Chantrice, she got off. She'll be back. We're still working out some of the kinks. This is not Netflix yet. Okay. Let me see. Sorry for the silence. Dr. Falika. I'm drinking water. I have two different types of waters that I'm drinking. I couldn't drink a regular drink today.
No comment there. No drink of your choice.
But I do plan on being. We're going to see. What happened? Hold on. Let me text her and see what happened. Oh, there she goes.
She should be getting one.
Okay.
She joined.
She did?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I see her. Tell her to send me a request.
Do I need to go back out again?
No. Hold on. I just invited
I
her
should have
again.
done it on my.
No. It's okay. I just invited her again. There she goes.
Fifi, what's going on,
Hi.
y'all?
Girl, what happened?
What had happened was I just got back from getting some sip on, so I could be,
Ready.
I
You
could be
be
live.
ready.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, cheers. Let's go ahead and start with a toast first. Who wants to lead our toast?
Sorry, I got water.
I got water too because I'm on a.
Oh, y'all hold on. Keep
I'm
it
on.
safe.
I'm on something a
Toasting.
little. I'm on something a little harder.
Can I at least pour it in the cup? Y'all need to get up.
Get your. Where your cup at? Y'all supposed to be ready.
I told you what happened was I had to get myself together because
It was AOB.
this is my first one, so I'm like nervous. Was that water?
Oh look, why are we twins?
Water. Y'all what? No more limits. Whatever.
Yes, pour it up. And then we got a couple of icebreaker games that I'm ready. I'm so excited to try on y'all.
Huh?
What is going on?
Girl, y'all can drink y'all water.
Because Dr. Falika, we're on something a little harder than wine.
No, I know.
Margarita.
I know.
One thing at a time. Falika left me hanging tonight. Oh man, this is crazy. You ready? Who's leading the toast?
Let one of our guests.
The host with the most.
Okay, so I guess I gotta lead the toast. Huh?
I couldn't hear.
I said, am I
Yeah.
leading the toast?
All on you. All on you. I'm new,
Okay.
so.
Okay. All right. So here's to episode 3 of Grown Women Business.
Freedom thing.
Here's to our 2 special guests, Lacario and Dr. Falika. Thank you for joining Chantrice and I. And here's to great sex and big checks.
Ooh!
Listen, I need to go get my alcohol for that one.
All day. Sipping to that.
That's right. And then to the back over here. So, as we mentioned earlier, there was a viral video clip that went around regarding submission. It was with a popular Instagram comedian. Her name is Watch Jazzy. She was doing a podcast interview and she was giving her thoughts on submission. Very hot topic, very something that, just a lot of people want to talk about it. So before we dive deep into it, we do want to allow you guys to introduce yourselves. We're going to do a quick icebreaker and then we'll jump into it. So who wants to go first? I'm not picking this time.
Dr. Falika, you go ahead and take the lead.
Okay.
Ladies first.
I am Dr. Christy Falika Grigg. I am married. So, ready to talk about submission. And I am an assistant principal. And I have 2 little babies, and they did not come from me submitting. And my doctorate is in education, so I've got a little sense.
Okay, all right. I love Black women doctors. Y'all like
yes,
Thank you.
Lacario.
Yeah, so Campbell, I am from the great city of St. Mary's, Georgia. I am single for sure, 39 years old. I am a salesman for Gusto Payroll. I've been in sales for 16 years, so it's kind of my go-to when it comes to career. And just excited to talk about submission and have these conversations within the race, man, because it's so many about submission. I want to my experience and my thoughts about it. So excited to be here for sure.
welcome.
Chantrice, you want to give us a reintroduction of yourself?
Sure. So I am Chantrice. I am very single. I am a content creator. I'm a director of a mental health organization. And I'm just here to have this conversation because I think it's something that needs to be had amongst groups of people. Just because I feel like, we'll get into it. So yeah, I'm glad we're having a conversation.
Awesome.
Robin?
Okay, and just to reintroduce myself, my name is Robin Jasmine. I am an entrepreneur. I am an interior designer. I am a professional organizer. I am 34, soon to be 35. I am very single. However, I am dating. I am not looking for a serious relationship at the moment. I do not have any children, and I am originally from Miami, Florida, currently residing in the suburbs of Atlanta because I do not live in Atlanta. I hate when people say that. I live in the suburbs of Atlanta. And once again, I am excited for this conversation too. So I thank all 3 of you for joining me on this journey. Hopefully this can be something that can grow into like a Netflix show. We're going to speak it into existence. So let's do a quick little icebreaker for our 2 guests, and then we'll go ahead and start. So this is something really simple. So Lacario, tell us 2 truths and a lie. Tell us 3 things, and we got to figure out what the lie is.
I have a 15-year-old son. I'm 5'11". Proud.
What was the third one?
I love to travel.
Okay.
You're not 5'11".
Dang.
Did I give that away?
Just a little.
It was was really funny. What's your lie?
Well, hell, you done told everybody that.
Sorry. Because he's so fucking tall. The
I
fact that he
know.
said 5'11", I'm like, nigga, when you was in the 5th grade? Were you
Why would
5'11"?
going with somebody five?
So, you probably along with it, but
Sorry. I'm sorry. I probably should not have. My bad. Okay, so how tall are you?
6'5".
So I want to ask you a question about that later as we get into the submission thing, because I feel like certain physical attributes play into whether or not a woman will be submissive, but we'll get into that. Okay. Dr. Falika, 2 truths and a lie.
All right.
Wait, I can't answer this one, right?
No, and don't react like I did, because I think I messed up
But
Lacario's.
All right, I got you.
let's
Right.
see. I am the oldest of 4. I've jumped out of a plane. I am a stepmom.
I'm going to say your lie is that you are the oldest of 4. That's not a mistake. Anybody else gonna guess?
I'm going to say the latter. Stepmom.
Got it. That's the lie.
Oh, dang. I would have thought you would have been a stepmom. Okay. See?
Earlier when she has 2 children and she wasn't submissive, lets me know she
Oh!
Attention to detail.
I like you.
Okay.
Your analytical
Two
skills
right
are on
now.
point.
Yeah.
All right, so let's just get into it. Who has all raised their hand if you saw the viral interview, if you saw the extended version of 13 minutes with Watch Jazzy? And I do not want to mispronounce the person who was interviewing her, but she's a beautiful young lady too as well. Who's seen it?
Shin Booty.
Everybody
saw about 7.
saw about 7 minutes of it. Okay, so just to be very clear, I'm going to give the definition of what submissive means by way of Webster's dictionary, and then we can go from there. So submission means the action or fact of accepting or yielding to a superior force or the will or authority of another person. So that is what submission means, yielding to a superior force. So in the term of submission in relationships, do we agree? Yes or no? What are our thoughts? Who wants to jump in first?
Do we agree to what's that?
Do we agree that there should be submission in a relationship? Do we agree specifically? Because I want to touch on specifically what Watch Jazzy said. She says she is submissive to her man. She packs his bag. She unpacks his bag. She scratches his back to sleep. She knows when he's sleeping because she knows how he breathes. She cooks. She cleans. She even does anal sex because that's what he wants. And that is not what she wants. This is what the full interview said. Go ahead, doctor. I feel like you about to
There you go.
I think I believe in, as a married woman, in submission to a point. First of all, like, who's to say that my husband is superior than I am? Like, we work the same hours, we take care of the kids the same. He bring a little bit more money in the house than I do, but we both pay bills. Like, what makes him more superior than me? Like, who determines that? What's determining that? So I don't know. Like, as I listen to you name all of the things that she would do for her man. Now, is her man her husband? Because I don't know about, I don't know if I'm about giving you all these qualities of a wife of this. I don't know. Like I ain't there. I ain't there with the. I don't know. And even as a wife, like I'm not submitting wholeheartedly to you. Like if I don't like anal sex, guess what you're not getting.
So we have, and I'm just going to jump in with some of the comments. So we have Miss Millionaire says superior, meaning that the man is the head of the household. Do we believe that men are the head of the household?
I mean, what does that mean? Like,
I'm gonna
what
say
does
what
head of the
capacity.
household mean? I get confused.
Okay.
Is he paying more of the bill? Like, what does that man? What does the head of household
I
mean?
have my definition of what head of household is. Lacario, what do you think head of household is?
Whatever you two decide it is, because one thing
See,
I learned about relationships, man, is you got to do what's best. So your situation is not always going to be the same as someone else. So to some people, they follow the Bible where it says, "Wives, submit to your husband." In the beginning of that verse in Ephesians, I believe it says, "Submit to one another in reverence to Christ." So there's something there that says, "Submit to one another." So it just depends on what you feel your situation is, what's best.
and so
Chantrice?
for me, my definition of submitting to my husband or my partner would not necessarily mean you make all the decisions. It's more so, I want to use the word reverence, but I feel like that's too strong of a word. But it's almost like a certain level of respect in that you pay me the same respect. I don't think submission is something that's given. I feel like it's something that's earned. And I don't think the word or the words men or man and submissive or being or submitting to him are synonymous. Like it's not necessarily because you're a man, I submit to you. In my experience, submission has come from you providing a different dynamic than what I can bring as a woman. Meaning, in the field, outside, all three of us, very strong women. We get shit done. And so when I come home, I want to feel like there's somebody that can I don't want outdo me in that sense or make me feel like, okay, like you got this kind of thing. But in that, he still sees my worth. I still have a say so in family decisions. It's more so like just a reverence to the fact that, in terms of being the head of the household, you protect our family, meaning you protect us physically, you protect my emotions. But as far as you telling me what to do, no way. Like that's not. I mean, I'll be if there's something that I'm doing and like we have a conversation about it and it's something that we can collaborate on. That's one thing, but not because I'm the man of the house, I tell you what to do. I tell you when to come and go.
Yeah.
Nah.
So reverence, when you say reverence, you mean in like deep respect, like you
Yeah.
revere them. Okay, okay.
Yeah, for sure.
So it sounds like you're taking submission as control.
That's the definition I feel like it has been given. But for me, I'm saying I think that's why I don't have a problem with submission because to me, it does not mean control. Like I'm always going to rebel against control in any form. So that's not what I would call submission because I don't like to be controlled. I'm not somebody that can be controlled. So when I think of submission, that's not even something that comes to mind as it applies to me.
So do we think that I think her name is Jasmine. Do we think that Jasmine is being controlled in her relationship because she submits to him by scratching his back, packing his clothes, running his bath, cooking his dinner? Is that control, or is she being submissive, or is she being catering or nurturing? Like what is
To me, what is the part that I heard, it sounds like she
Yes.
likes to nurture and she considers.
Agreed. Agreed. Like,
So I'm not sure of the context from his side, but from her side, it seems like she sees that as being submissive, as like nurturing her man, and it's almost as if she gets pleasure.
so do you
And I
feel
think
like
I
she
got
So
her.
mislabeled herself? Jasmine, she said Jasmine
um,
is being a pick me.
She lost me when she pretty much said that there are things that she allows of him, or like it's almost like sexually she allows him to take advantage of her because it's not something that she likes, but because he wants it, that's what he gets. That's where she
right.
lost me. But everything else, I'm the same way. Like I love catering to like a good ass man.
A
Like that's
good
just
ass man. And I think
Okay,
that's
yes.
key.
so with that being said, I love catering to a good ass man. This is what put it in perspective because when you find out who her man is, Do we lose respect because of who her
You
man
know who
is?
it is?
Yeah.
Who is it, Lord?
My face
'Cause I don't
ID.
know.
Hold on.
You guys
What's
don't
her
know
name?
who it is?
Wait a minute. We're going to find out together. Wait,
No,
don't tell me. Don't ruin it for me. What's her name again?
Her name?
I know someone in the comments says that man has 95 kids and couldn't commit or submit to
Oh,
anybody.
hell no.
So that's where I feel like it starts to change when you find out who the person is. And so, Dr. Falika, what are your thoughts on that?
I don't know. Again, I feel like it's to a certain extent. Like, it depends on the kind of person you are and what you're willing to give and what you're willing to do. Now, I ain't, like I said, if I don't like it, I can't. I
We should have led with
Okay.
this. This changes the dynamic of how
This
who is
changes
it,
it.
Lord?
Cam
This
Newton.
changes it.
Who?
Oh no, Cam Newton.
Newton.
He was the same one that made the comment. What was the comment that he made about pretty much women need to learn? Was it like women need to learn how to? I don't want to miss. What did he say? Who knows for sure what he said verbatim? Like
I'll
women need
look
to
it
know.
up.
Pretty much, we need to
But
know our place. We need to know how to be quiet sometimes, or something like that.
Well, that's
Right?
what she learned. That's what she learned.
That changes the whole dynamic of things.
Cam Newton was in a Cam Newton is a football player. Correct me if I'm wrong, Lacario. I think he plays for the Panthers. He played for somebody.
He was known for the Panthers. That was his longest tenure. He's done a few things since then. But question for you: why does it change when you find Cam?
Because of that comment he made. And
Yep.
the context in which I took his comment, it was more so like he feels as though submission to him based on his comment would mean that he is like he tells me what to do. That's not gonna work. Like there was no like admiration or honor in what he said. Like he didn't say it in a way that, you know what I mean? Like it didn't feel empowering to me as a woman. It didn't make me say, Cam Newton saying maybe I should learn my place. Let me work on that. I was kind of like, what?
So let me tell you what the exact comment was. He said that he talked about women who don't know how to allow a man to lead. His exact comment in quotes was, "Now a woman for me is handling your own, knowing how to cater to a man's needs." And I think that a lot of times when you get the aesthetic of I'm a boss bitch, I'm a bad bitch, whatever. No, baby, because you can't cook and you don't know when to be quiet. You don't know how to allow a man to lead. So that was the comment that he said that kind of triggered this whole like, oh, okay, you don't know how to, a woman is supposed to just cook and shut up, you know? So I think when he made that comment earlier this year, and then it came out to where now his girlfriend is making these comments about how she's submissive. And then you look at Cam Newton's history. Cam Newton was in a 10-year relationship, well over 10 years. He has 4 children with one woman who he never married. I believe his relationship prior to that woman, he adopted maybe her 2 kids and they had a kid together. So in total, he has about 7 children. So he has 7 children. He was in a long-term relationship with a woman who has 4 of his children. He did not marry her. And now he's in this new relationship with a woman who seems to be like catering to her. So one of the questions was that the podcaster asked Jasmine was, if he didn't have money, would you still be this way? And she said, I believe her exact word was, well, if he was broke, I wouldn't even entertain him because he would have nothing else to offer.
Wow.
So, so we got to the point to where, because of who he is, you feel like, are we not taking what Jasmine says? Do we not respect her opinion on submission? We already kind of feel like maybe she mislabeled herself because she did say that this was her love language. This is how she loves. She caters, which I'm fine with. But does that man deserve it? Or are we just in a business?
If those two decided that then he deserves it. At the end of so if he listed out his expectations of what it's going to take to be with him, and she agreed to him, who are we to say that she's crazy? Who are we to say that she's off the mark when she agreed to him? And her nurturing side of that is something that fits with what he's looking for. Just food for thought. I'm not saying that I agree either or, but just food for thought.
And I think that's true. I also think, not for nothing, walk with me when I say this, but I do feel like there's some validity in what he said in terms of I'm somebody I know I'm the type of person I always have an answer for something. So a lot of times in exchange and conversation, it could seem like I'm trying to rebuttal against everything that you say,
Would
but
be
I just like to
combative.
think right. I like to think things through. So I have been in situations where a man has said, Trees, you just need to learn how to listen sometimes. But it wasn't said in a way where I felt like I was withdrawn at all. It was kind of like, you my dog at the end of the day. If this is coming from you, I know what you mean by that. And you would never go into public forum and say it in that way.
Mm.
Here, let me say this. So, I think we as people got to be more cognizant about how we say things, right? And the reason I say that is you three strike me as very high level women, if you will, right? High value women, right?
Okay, Kevin Samuels. All
And you
right now.
strike me as type that can do all the things that he said he likes for his women to
Minus the
do.
anal part.
No, well, that wasn't a quote. I'm talking about his quote.
Okay.
And be a boss B, but can't do this and can't do this and can't do that. So I guess let's talk about the actual content of what he said and not how he said it.
But can you really separate? Because now it's like separating the man from the art or whatever the case may be or whatever. Can we really take in consideration what he's saying and we don't take in the tone of how he's saying it in the context of, because in my opinion, I hear what you're saying and reading it out, and I remember hearing when he said it. I don't think he said it in a malicious way. I don't think so. The whole "you don't know when to be quiet," he probably could have said something
Now
a little bit. He probably could have said you need to know when to listen. But when you say you don't know when to be quiet, it's like, who are you talking to?
Right.
Again, how you
Right.
say it,
But
right?
when we know
It's
that
how
he is a man who has had 4 children, he has had cheated on that relationship, had other children. It's almost like, who are you? What type of quality of man are you for me to respect and for me to even hear or listen? Because but I want to give my thoughts on what I feel like submission is and things like that, just for me personally. I am a very strong woman. I have been told that in several different relationships that I've been in, that I'm very strong, I'm very headstrong, I'm very independent. But I do have a side to me that not a lot of men get to see, where I do enjoy being submissive. However, to me, submission does not mean, I mean, I grew up very, very old school. My grandmother, even to this day, you cannot fix a man no food on no paper plate. They not having it. You give them real plates, real silverware. The men eat first in my family. It's always been that way. That's how I was raised. The servitude part of my demeanor and nature, I welcome that. I embrace that. I don't ever feel like, why daddy got to get the big piece of chicken. I ain't never been like that. I'm going to do that because I feel like the man who God has for me, he ain't gonna play me. He ain't gonna play in my face. So with me being submissive to him, of course I'll run your bath, I'll run your shower, I'll get your clothes out, I'll do whatever. But there has to be some reciprocity. You can't just take and take and take from me and you not filling me back up. So sometimes submission looks like you just his little lap dog, and he say jump, you say how high. No, it doesn't work that way. Now, where the submission starts to get a little cloudy is because when you feel like Dr. Falika, you work, your husband work. We both work in 8-10 hour days, battling traffic, going back and forth. Who's to say that when we come home, I have to be the one that always cooks? We both had the same kind of day. But am I a better woman or wife because I'm submitting to you just because you make just a little bit more money than me? I can't subscribe to that. I'm not subscribing to. Now, I will say, if things were different, like if I didn't work, like if I was a stay-at-home wife and that was my primary job, was just to stay home and focus on my kids or focus on my business, I didn't have to take care of the house, I probably might be a little bit more submissive too, because something else is taken off of my plate. I don't know. I'm kind of still
But I'm
Work.
somebody like Jasmine. Jasmine said she finds pleasure in like catering to her man. And I can identify with that. And I also think we make time for what's important. So for
That's
me, I
true.
can be all of those things. And if you acknowledge that and you respect the fact that it's something that I'm doing because I want to and not because that's the expectation. Like if a man ever sat me down and we had to have a conversation about submission, is out the door. Like we couldn't be together
Oh
because for
yeah.
me, submission is something that
It's a
it
feeling.
happens it happens in response to who you are to me,
Yep.
meaning you make me feel emotionally secure. You do little things like make sure that I made it home if you're not there, like little things that make me feel like the delicacy, because like I said, out in the world I got it,
Yep.
I'm her, but
Mm.
when I get home, like I want to
Um,
feel like I got somebody else that got me, and because of that I'm in response going to make sure that you're taken care of as well.
Absolutely.
Mm.
reasons that I'm excited to have this conversation. You have to understand that submission in 2022 looks different than it is 70s,
Absolutely.
60s, 50s,
Mm.
40s, where we weren't in the workplace and the man was the one going out and doing the job and all that jazz. So yeah, to grandmom it may seem like, okay, he doesn't eat off a paper plate, he eats off a regular plate, silverware, and all that's good because he was the only one left the house. It's 2022. Women are owning businesses at the highest rate that they've ever handled. So you have to understand the mindset of your partner and where they are. Because if they're still in that mindset, because grandma raised them or whatever, then that's a conversation that needs to be had before even thinking about going into a
Mm-hmm.
relationship,
Yep.
right? But in 2020, both parties are working 8 to 10. Both parties are responsible for the household from what I'm hearing. I'm single, so it's just me and my son. But from what I'm hearing, like both parties are responsible. You still do have men that, you know, have a little bit of old school of taking care of the house, but we have to understand that times change, and I think part of the reason that we're having this miscommunication or this issue with submission is because of the where we are now when it comes to what the household looks like.
I have a question,
Right, women are working.
Dr.
Yeah,
Falika and Lacario, since you're a guy. Who do you feel like should pay the mortgage or the rent if you guys live together?
you asking about my personal experience? I mean, my
Yeah.
personal thoughts.
Like, who do you feel like should shoulder
Like I said,
and I say rent or mortgage because that's usually the largest bill of the household. Who do you feel like should shoulder the majority of the finances?
my personal beliefs are the man,
Same.
but that's
Same.
my personal beliefs. But I do know that you should base it off of your living situation or your living arrangement.
Okay.
So, but my position, I that's the way that I was raised. That's the way that I saw my grandfather do my grandmother, and so it's one of those things that I always said. You know, I saw her be able to, and I'm country, y'all, so I saw her be able to host her Tupperware
Not
parties
Tupperware.
when she wanted to cook and do and sell Mary Kay and Avon and cook when she wanted, and bake when she wanted, do the things that she wanted to do. So I always said, when I find that special person, I want to make sure that they have that type of freedom.
Right.
Even if they want to work, they still have freedom to where the finances are that. Because I was having this conversation the other day, and I just remember when I was in college, and a lot of my friends could not fathom a woman making more money than them. And I was on the lone island, like, I don't give a shit if she make more money than me, because at the end of the day, I'm still going to do my part with taking care of the house. Her making more money than me is just more money for the
Exactly.
household.
Absolutely.
So
Mm-hmm.
it's like, want to go ahead and put up for the savings or put up for the kids' college fund or plan this vacation. If you don't mind, I would love for you to do that. But the house gonna be taken care of. But that's, again, that's my thought.
Shantice, what you think?
I think maybe sometimes I need to involve on be maybe I'm not I need to be more realistic in my definition of like partnership in general, because I always say, and my friends could quote it verbatim, like to me I just want to do life with my best friend. And I think that's where like I feel sometimes disconnected from the idea of modern day dating. I think we complicate it way too much. Like we were being specific about, okay, who's fronting it? Yo, it's a team effort. So I don't think a lot of the things that we make as serious, and we say like we have to modernize the way we do things, but I think we are still carrying marriages very much so as a business, as they were created to be run as. So I think that's
So,
where.
but I think marriage is a business. Marriage is many things. And I can assure you one of those things is a business. And Justin is my business partner, and he does pay the mortgage, but I pay the daycare and I
Right.
pay the car insurance. Like, we are in this together, but we do sit down and we divvy up, because that's a part of we make money, but
Mhm.
a part of making money is sitting down and talking about it, and where and
Mhm.
deciding where it goes and where it doesn't go. And
Mhm.
so marriage is a business, in a
Mhm.
sense of you are trying to leave this legacy of wealth, and if you
Mhm.
don't manage your wealth well, then you won't have a legacy to live. And so we do have to
Mhm.
sit down and discuss what this business going to look like, sir. And so that at the end of this, we can have what we need to retire, go on
Mhm.
vacations, make sure our children got what they need, make sure we got
Mhm.
what we need, make sure we can go on dates, make sure everything's paid.
Mhm.
And so, you know, now, I get what you're saying, Chantrice. Like, it ain't no, oh, because you the man, you paying for dinner. Shit, you know what? You got a promotion. I'm taking a you out.
Right.
And yes,
Exactly.
it might be coming from the same pot, but
Mhm. Right.
it's that,
Ah,
you know, that genuine, I love you, I'm proud of your ass,
Right.
let's go celebrate. Like, he doesn't
Mhm.
on his own say, hey, let's go celebrate, so I'm gonna do
Mhm.
that for you. Like,
Mhm.
you deserve
Mhm.
this. Let's take a time out on the shit of being parents and being, stuck at work all the time, and let's
Right.
go do something for you. Let's go do something for us.
Mhm.
Right.
Mhm. Lacario.
let me just throw this out there real quick, and I hope this don't sound harsh, but take y'all ass to therapy.
Hey,
And,
Amen.
and the reason I say,
amen, right?
when you go to therapy, work through the things that you don't realize are bothering you in your
Amen.
childhood, and that when you go to therapy, you become whole and you become a better person. It's easier for you to make a decision when it comes to submission and what that looks like.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want my mind.
So I asked a question about the finances because I think that's tied into a lot of submission where a woman feels like I am not submitting. If I'm going to have 50-50 with you on every single little thing, and I will give you guys the truth. So I'm all about being very open and honest and transparent. I was in a relationship, y'all, and I think we must have ordered like DoorDash, something, and the total came to like $80. This nigga sent me $40. Like, he wanted to go half on every single
Mhm.
thing down to the cent. And he made way more money than I made at the time. And I felt very petty, and I felt like it was I almost felt, had I would have continued in that relationship, because I was in a relationship when I was younger, like 18 or 19, something also very similar where we went half on everything, and this person also made more money than me. I felt violated because I felt financially violated, because
Mhm.
if I'm going half with you on the bills, if the bills come up to 6,000 a month and you pay 3,000 and I pay 3,000, but I only make 4,000 a month. So my
Right.
3,000 is gone. I have 1,000 left, but you make 12,000 a month, and you only paying three. You got nine left. It's leaving me at a vulnerable state. So the
Yeah.
50-50 thing, when a woman feels like she has to go 50-50 and she has to go half with you, if that's the agreement, even though that's not the financial circumstances, it leaves her feeling like, I'm not being submissive to you. For what? We everything is down the middle. Everything is equal.
But like I said, I think it's a feeling. Like, being submissive is a feeling. It's a feeling that you have to
Mhm.
have in
I
Mm-hmm.
order
agree.
to make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
And whatever it means to you, or whatever turns you off or turns you on, it's you. And you
Mm-hmm.
have to have that feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's true.
No, she said, don't be with that man then. Girl, I'm not. That's why I'm single.
And
I'm
for me, what I
single.
meant, like, and going back to the finance, what you just said about finances too, I just feel like, again, I think somebody said it. I feel like the idea of submission is largely based upon like what the man brings financially. And I'm just, because things happen. So what if we get into this partnership and the idea of submission is based upon that? If you fall on hard times, does that mean that I then disrespect you as a man or lose my respect for you as a man? To me, I think that's when my role as your partner comes in, and like, nigga, I'm gonna make you feel like you can get that back and then some. Like, we not gonna, don't even worry about it. I got you. So for me, when we talk about submission, and that's why I say for me, I don't want the. So I dealt with a guy, very established. I called him a heavy hitter, and that was one of our things. Like, initially, you're not doing nothing for me. I don't care that you got it. I don't care. I got me. And that was because like I needed to see when we remove finances, because of course you used to women, you used to being able to pay your way through shit. But when we remove finances, now let me see your character. Let me see how you deal with me emotionally when you can't throw in my face that you did something for me. Not that he would have, not at all. But then when he did little nice gestures and he would just send me money, go get your nails done, go, get some food, whatever. It was like, it felt more of like that give and take in that way, and not like you do for me all the time. So like now I kind of gotta be mindful of what I say, or like maybe I shouldn't say something because you are providing financially, or because okay, well, I've been looking out for you in this way. So so that's why for me, like, money is like one of those things. Very important. Absolutely. Like Falika was saying, legacy is something that like I stand on. I want to name my freaking daughter Legacy for that reason alone. However, I know me, and money is not gonna make me treat you any better or any worse. Like, it's the drive. It's so many more things in terms of provision for me, that makes me want to submit to a man. Is not about the money. Because I think a dynamic, like when you put two people together that have those same goals and aspirations, like we can build together. But I need to see if, after we build and after we have those things that we think we want, do we even fuck with each other outside of that? That's what's important to me. So, so not to say finances are not important, they are, but we're going to remove all of that. We're going to eliminate that in the beginning, and let me see how we rock outside of that.
For sure. That we got a question from True Zero Warrior. It says, why do women have to challenge everything?
My response to that is, would you want to be with a woman who was not a critical thinker, who didn't have the ability to question things? I always say, I don't want, let me not use that example. I don't want to date the CEO. Like, I want to be a CEO too. And so I need to be able to ask my husband, like, okay, this is what we have. So if you're not in the picture, if something happens, you got to go handle something off. Like, let me know how to run your shit too. And a part of that, like, outside of finances, how do I keep the family safe when you're not there? All right, I know you like submission, you like things a particular way. So let me ask you questions about why this is important to you, or, why maybe you don't like certain things to be a certain way. So then I can we can be a teammate in that sense. So for me, and I'm not saying that the question was asked in that way, but I like, that is something that, another thing that's very important. Like, I have to be able to, like, let me learn from you, teach me something. Let me be able to ask some questions, because I want you to know more than me in certain ways, because again, partnership, iron sharpens iron. Like, I need my man to know something. I need to be able to ask my man something, and that's sexy to me. Like, listen,
having those conversations and like, us going back and forth on some real deep conversation and topic shit. Like, I mean,
let me be able to check you.
Robin Jack,
what's up?
Me too.
Repeat
the question was, I just got rid of it off the screen, but the question says, why do women have to challenge everything? That's what the question was. And feel free, for those who are watching, because we have a lot of viewers, feel free to drop a question. Just hit the little question mark and we'll post your question and we'll answer it as we continue on our conversation. But go ahead.
Why do women have to challenge everything?
Right.
This is probably not a popular response for my men crew, and that's fine. But if you don't have a woman challenging you, you're never going to get to the next level.
Come on.
But here's the thing that is, like I talked about earlier, there is a way to challenge. And in my experience, I have dated that knew how to challenge. They knew how to bring the situation to the forefront and make you see exactly what it is that they're trying to say. But then there's the other part of that some women have a way of it sounding like they're belittled
right
by their approach. So we have to get to a place to where it's more about how we approach it's women come across and know how to approach a man when it comes to challenging them. But a man needs to be challenged when it comes to certain things. That's part of, you know, I've learned when it comes to women, there are some very, very smart women that are able to provide a different side that me as a man would have never thought about or discussed with anyone or anything. So me personally, I've done the therapy, I've done the work on myself to be able to understand and take the challenge. But I do want the challenge to come across as if it's trying to help me.
You know, I think some men, or maybe even people, see accountability as a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that's what we're talking about with that question, but I just really think that as women, that we need to hold men accountable. We or men, you need to hold your women accountable. And for me, like and just looking at my past relationships and even my marriage, you know, I just feel like when I hold your ass accountable, that's when you think I'm attacking you. And that's not what I'm doing. I am trying to hold your ass accountable.
How do we do
But
that
again,
though?
there is a way to hold someone accountable. There is certain verbiage that cannot be used for a man to make him feel like you're trying to challenge him and lift him. There's a tone that you can't use for a man that makes it look like you're trying to challenge him. We don't mind. I mean, when I say
think
we,
some of y'all
healthy
do
men don't
mind.
Healthy men don't mind the challenge. I can tell you that. So as a healthy man, I consider myself a healthy man now. It took some years, took 30 something plus years, but I definitely consider myself a healthy man now. I don't mind the challenge. But what women need to be careful of is the man that they're with, and understanding most men, well, I'm not saying most men, but some men that don't take accountability, because we have to take accountability for our jobs every day, right? So certain men that at this age that don't take accountability, I hate to say it, but are probably narcissists.
So okay, so
Can you say that? Can you say it again? They're probably what?
They're probably narcissists.
Okay, so I want to interject. So two things that stuck out from what you said. You said it's about tone. It's about, I think you said delivery, demeanor. So, you know, have you ever heard that saying that says sometimes you have to mean what you say and you have to say it mean? I don't know where I heard that from, but you know, but is there a certain way that you are supposed to speak to a man? And is there a certain way that you're supposed to speak to a woman? Or can you be direct? Because I feel like men and women in general have an issue with the person being direct. Because sometimes being direct comes off as aggressive. It comes off as, you know, like pushy or rude. And it's like, I'm not being rude or aggressive. I'm being direct with you. Same thing that will happen in the place of business. If you're an employee and your supervisor is coming to you and he's telling you something, or he or she is telling you what you're not doing correct, they are not going to coddle you and say it in a way so they don't hurt your feelings. They're going to do it in a direct way that if you're not a healed person, the way you hear it, you're hearing it from broken, unhealed ears, if that makes any sense, right? Because I feel like when you said the way you speak to a man, what is the way that a person or a woman is supposed to speak to a man?
Say this, it's the way you speak to a person. Okay. So let me change my words. It's the way person. But let me say this, a tool that I use from work that I start applying in my personal life is the DISC assessment, right? And the DISC assessment is just a communication test. So what it says is that there are 4 different types of personalities and the way that they like to be communicated to. So direct may be great for one person. It's not great for 3 other types of personalities. So it depends on the person. You got to know who you're dealing with to know how to communicate with them. I'm direct, so it's okay to be direct with me. But there are certain people that just don't have that type of personality, and they take being direct as an attack. So you really have to understand the type of person that you're dealing with and how they like to communicate and communicate in that way. And we have to do better using these tools and these resources that are out here to help us elevate that level of communication, so that if we seriously that we're trying to make a relationship better or make a marriage better, we're actually using the tools and resources out here to do
Okay.
so.
So I have a scenario. This was something that happened here in the state of Georgia. I believe it was in the suburbs of Atlanta. And this was something that people said that the woman didn't know her place. She overstepped her boundaries with her husband because she wasn't speaking to him the way that a wife should, or whatever the case may be. But anyway, it was a video where a black couple up here in an affluent area of Atlanta was getting some work done on their house. They contacted a contractor. When a contractor came out, they spoke to him over the phone. He seemed like he was fine. This couple was black. The contractor was white. When the contractor came to their house, he had a big ass Confederate flag hanging off the back of his truck, right? So the wife was like, hell nah, like, we good, whatever. So in her being the wife or whatever, she allowed her husband to address. I'm pretty sure they had a conversation. Nah, I don't care how good his work is. He ain't doing no work on my house with this damn Confederate flag, whatever. So the husband went out there, and I, as a man, maybe you could speak to this, Lacario, but he was like, hey, yeah, my wife, yeah, we good, we straight, we don't need. So the guy was confused, like, what do you mean? He was like, yeah, she's just not really feeling your flag. So the guy was like, oh, well, I'll take it now. The wife came out and was like, no, 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 no. We no longer need your services. Thank you. And have a nice day. Like, she pretty much, so a lot of the comments was like, well, your husband was handling it. Why didn't you continue to allow him to handle it? Why did you feel like you had to come out there and overstep and say whatever? He was handling it. And then her response was like, no, he wasn't. He was over there trying to pacify the contractor by being like almost like nice, but like, no. But so the thing
Here's
about
the
it
thing.
was she overstepping? Was she not being submissive? Because she went out there and was like, nah, cut all this. We no longer need your services. I don't appreciate your flag. This is a black family. This is black dollars. I choose where I want to, and I don't want to spend my money with someone who has a Confederate flag. So thank you.
But
Have a nice day.
but had he then responded and pulled out a gun, it would have been that man's responsibility to then protect the family. So in that case, yes, I do feel like she was out of order, because I feel like the man was addressing it in a way where he felt like he had that control. If I expect my husband to lead and protect my family in that way, then when he's handling it, I need to if it's something that I can stay out of, you got it, baby. Because like I said, if he reacts, then that puts my husband in a position where he has to react on some shit that I caused.
Yeah.
So
and that's like, either that should have been more of a conversation before he stepped out, or that would be a conversation when his ass got back in. Like, if I disagree with him in that moment, no way in hell will I sit up there in front of anybody and say, "What? Like, didn't I tell you? No, no."
And I don't want to make my husband look like that in front of
right.
somebody else.
You kind of
like,
looking.
Nah.
You making both of
She
y'all
not
look crazy.
submissive.
So in that
She
case, if
ain't
he checked
submissive.
her ass when they got back in the house, rightfully so.
I don't think he checked her. I think that she run that.
Nah, that wouldn't work.
Based off of the
And I
interview
guess
that
it
they
goes
gave
back
afterwards.
to what works for them. But that's a situation like and that's something I had to learn. Because in my mind, again, when I say partnership is okay, you got a problem, we got a problem. But I had to be taught like that from that perspective, no trees, because then if some shit pop off, I gotta react. And I got it. And it was certain things like in terms of when I'm out and about, like I'm happy go lucky, hugging this person, he was like, oh no, nah, like some of this shit we gotta cut that out. Cause I'm your I have to protect you. And so it's certain situations I need you to be more mindful in. And it was something I respected. Like I love that. And that's again, I love the fact that I could then challenge that. And by challenging that, I got a better understanding of, okay, so this is why you're saying that. It's not you're saying it just to say it. You're saying it because as my protector, you're thinking ahead. You're thinking about, okay, what situation does this potentially put me in? Okay, how would I react? Who would that affect? Men are always thinking ahead in terms of that. Just like we think ahead in terms of, okay, the household is going to probably need this in about a week. Like, let me make sure. I just feel like in that sense, that's where roles are important. Okay, if it's a situation where I see I could step in and be of assistance, cool. But I'm gonna know my man, and I hope he knows me enough to know. Like we'll know. Like all right, like go time. But other than that, he got it.
So I appreciate you saying that, because at the end of the day, if you're going to allow me to protect, allow me to protect, right? I will say this: most black men, at least the black men that I know, we're with the shits, right? But we also know the court
That's
system
it.
isn't in
And
favor
I want
of
you
us.
home at the end
So
of the
the first
night.
thing, the situation, and we're going to have a conversation, make sure that everything's good, and get on our way. Now, when I get in the house, you and I can talk about it, and
Right.
you can express how you felt like it should have been immediate dismissal and all that jazz, and give me your reasons why. That is cool. But if I'm in my act of protecting the family by thinking ahead and understanding the critical sacrifices and consequences, then you need to allow me to do, right? Just like the same way where if if you say you want the house this way or the house that way because that's your thing, I gotta allow you to do that. So, prime example, if you're an interior designer and you know you like stuff a certain way, if I come in and I buy these lamps that I feel like I like and I put them on these in the living room and shit, you gonna be ready to go ham because it ain't the in the aesthetic that you want. So I gotta allow you to handle that space. I've learned that I need my own space, probably in the basement or another room, to where I can decorate things the way that
No,
I
she's
want.
still
But
gonna
if you
decorate
say
it
this
for you how it needs to look for you.
thing, so I protect the way that I see best fit for this family to be protected. And it goes there, know and understand I'm not only just going there, but I'm probably going to go past there.
So,
But you got to allow that to understand that I'm doing everything necessarily up front so that it doesn't
so
go
would
there.
that have been an example of a woman who don't know when to be quiet?
That is exactly of an example of a woman who don't know how to be quiet.
And it sounds harsh, but again, like I think those are the conversations that like we get offended, just like when you were talking about how things are said. I'm very much a how things are said type of person, but in that example, absolutely, because she wasn't thinking about the out. Like people get killed every day, B. And you know, in that situation, especially, unfortunately, we gotta tread a little differently. So if I'm sure my husband has taken the time to say, "Yo, if I was in this situation, this is how I would handle it." So now I'm throwing him off his equal because I'm trying to aid in that when I'm sure, like you've already considered the best way to handle this situation so that you can walk your ass back in that house to your family. You know what I mean? And so my thing is too. I saw something somewhere where it said like, watch how a woman reacts when her man is getting upset and you'll know if he about it. So I'm not gonna date nobody that I don't feel as though if we're in a situation like you got me. So that in and of itself is gonna cause me to interact and react a different way in certain situations. So if I see you getting upset, like, or if I know how upset you can get, I'm not gonna aid in that. But then the guy decide he want to call me a bitch, and now you mad because he done called your wife a bitch, and now we got this big situation that if I would just stood back and let my man be the man, we would have been all right.
Dr. Falika, since you're married, do you feel in your marriage that you have gender roles?
No.
Okay.
Like we both cook, we both clean, we both pay the bills. We both do it all. We both take care of the kids. He does the bath, I do the bath. Like we do everything. Like if I want to cut the grass, I'm cutting the grass. Like if I want to take the damn trash out because it's trash everybody got and it's everywhere, I'm gonna take the trash out. I ain't having trash in my house. Like I don't know. My mama just always taught me to be able to do stuff on my own, and not because my daddy didn't do it for her. She just was looking out for a sister. Like, you know what? Just don't depend on nobody to do shit. And I never have, and I never will. And like I said, like right now, Justin's gone. The trash got to be done. Like, what do I just not take it out because he ain't here? Not happening. The mulch got to be put down. Do I just not? It's not happening. So I would say no.
What do
I'm
you
gonna
want to
say
say
this,
about?
unfortunately, and I have to jump, right? But you should not date someone that has not lived on their own, male or female.
Amen.
Agreed.
Because they live on their own, they don't understand what it takes to truly have a household, to truly go to work, do the chores, maintain life in general, pay the bills, all that jazz. And I've been to where that wasn't the case, and it made the marriage hard. I've known it made marriages hard. So don't date anyone that hasn't lived on her own. Sorry, unfortunately, I have a hard stop at 9, but this was good.
Well,
So
thank you
I
for
appreciate
joining
you
us,
all.
Lacario. That it was amazing. I loved your insight, your male insight. We appreciate it.
Nice to meet you.
Well,
Lacario.
good. Have a good one.
Bye. Well, ladies, it's just us. So
Ladies' night.
It's ladies' night. So how do you guys feel about his viewpoints on submission? Did he really tell us what he felt about submission? I didn't
In
ask
terms of like
specifically.
that aspect of protection, like, and I said, that's something I had to be taught to, because I'm real like my nigga in it, so I'm in it, but that's not my place as a woman. And when it was explained to me, like, I had such a respect for that. So,
Dr.
I agree.
Falika, any final thoughts?
I guess, I just want to like reiterate when it comes to being submissive, that it's a feeling that for me, I have to have inside of my heart and my soul. And it's a feeling that you have to make me feel in order to be what I need to be to you. Like, I want to be this wonderful and great, great wife. You need to make me feel like that's what I am to you in order for me to be those things to you. Like, I just can't do it because I'm your wife. Like, because I'm your wife, ain't it for me. Like, I need to feel like I'm the queen and I'm the shit. And that's because you made me feel that way. And I might be, never mind.
You might what?
Nothing. And like,
I
that's
don't
what's
care
missing.
what how submissive I'm getting, and I'm not knocking on the wood. If I don't want to do no anal, I'm not doing no anal.
Yeah, it's certain
that
things.
hurt me when I heard her say that in her interview. I was like, see, I'm not gonna do anything I don't want to do. And especially something that
we supposed to both get pleasure out of this shit, not just you.
That physically hurts.
Yeah.
So it's more than just being uncomfortable, but I just feel like certain men confuse submission with for lack of better words, control, or they want you to, it's almost like they want to degrade you in a sense to see how much you love them. Oh, if submit to me by having a threesome, or submit to me by doing anal sex, or submit to me by, me allowing you to, like, I'm controlling everything. I control the finance. Like, I'm not with that art of submission. I am submitting to you because I love you, because, like you said, you make me feel this. It's a reciprocity, but I'm not submitting to you to become this bottom feeder version of myself. Like, I don't care how much money you got. I don't care if, I just don't care. I will do that by myself. I'm just not doing it. So Jazzy, I feel for her, because I feel like that nigga ain't even that. He ain't even that's the second part. It's like,
but
halfway understand a little bit if it was like,
but he might be that to her.
No, but he's trash. He has a proven record.
Well, I mean, let's think about this now. Where does it stem from with her? If he didn't have money, she wouldn't even consider it at all. So, like, I don't feel for her.
She's not submitting. She's getting her knees met.
She knows what she's doing.
Settling.
She knows.
Somebody said earlier,
settling.
She's settling.
Like,
and I don't know why, because she's a beautiful girl. She has her own money. She, she's not someone who, whatever. You can have whoever you want. I'm not settling for no half-ass love, and I'm not now. I get it that her love language is catering and acts of service and all this stuff. And maybe she kind of gets off from that, but I had she would have not said that, because the podcaster asked her, well, what does he do for you? She was like, I don't know. Oh, well, shit, if you don't know, it's not like you can say, well, he does this for me. He has invested in my business. He's paid for my school, or, he supports me with my family. Like, she couldn't answer what the guy did for her.
I think it's being
Nigga
mislabeled.
is whack.
I don't think it's coming from a place of reverence because of the type of man that he is to her. I mean, I don't know her, but just like when we were talking about the fact that she's willing to do so much that she really doesn't want to do and she's not getting anything in return, to me that sounds like it's coming from a place of insecurity, like, oh shit, I got Cam Newton, what this nigga need me to do? I'd be
And
damned. So
Cam Newton ain't even damn cute. He ain't even cute. Now, if she said
who was
Omari
fine
Hardwick
finding
or
me?
something
Let me
like that.
see, who was fine finding me?
Idris
Who was
Elba.
like, you know, I like him a little rough. I can't even
Method
think of
Man.
somebody. Method Man couldn't get me to do. Nah. Not no shit that I really don't want to do.
Method Man can tell me what to do.
To a certain extent. But at a certain point, you pushing it and I'm going to feel devalued. And my self-love be off the charts these days. So, nigga, you can go too.
Right. Is there any man who has like unlimited? You know what I used to think, and then we can wrap this up because this is gonna be real embarrassing. I used to say,
stand in your true boat.
Years ago, I don't feel this way now, but I used to feel years ago that if I ever met Tyler Perry, hear me out.
Because this go two ways.
What?
We already think Tyler is a little.
Oh, we talked about Tyler Play. You said Tyler Perry.
Perry? Yeah, I ain't talking about Tyler Play. He ain't got no money.
Wait, we talking about Tyler Perry.
Yes. Let me tell you why.
Please.
Quickly. Wait, you sure you ain't got your people messed up?
No.
You think Tyler
Perry is Madea, fine. Tyler Perry, Mr. Brown's sister. I'm talking about that Tyler Perry.
He fine? You think he's fine?
No.
Okay,
I never
all right.
said I thought he was fine. No.
Okay.
I'm saying that status to me, in terms of status, in terms of, legacy wealth. Because let's be very clear, rappers, football players, basketball players, none of that money is guaranteed. They can run through that money, all type of stuff. The only sport where money is guaranteed, which I just learned yesterday, was baseball and maybe soccer. But other than that, when I think about, okay, if I was to be with someone who was in an industry where he had an unlimited resource of knowledge, wealth, connections, or whatever, would I submit to that person? And the only person that I could think of who I said would be Tyler Perry. Now, what would I have to do? Tyler Perry wanted me to be like his beard, because clearly I think we think Tyler Perry is gay, right? Would I do that? His beard, because would I submit to him because he has this unlimited resources? You'll have the lifestyle. I'm talking about, and I'm not talking about no shit like going to the hottest club in Atlanta. I'm talking about you're in the room with presidential candidates. I'm talking about you're in the who's who of world leaders, and you can really, would you submit to a man like that? Tyler Perry is powerful in his own right. I don't know if he knows it, but he really is. It's still a no for y'all?
But I don't feel my sexiness as a woman when I'm not operating out now. Because I like to be challenged. Like, okay, nigga, you got to show me how to get it. Like, that's sexy to me. I don't.
Right.
What if he was like that? What if Tyler said, you know what, Chantrice, whatever you want. Whatever. You say, you can even say something small like, I want to have a boutique. Fuck having a boutique. You're going to have a deal with Neiman Marcus.
But if you show me how to get there and I can
he'll show you, and he's also, but to be honest, I mean, in exchange for showing you, you have to be submissive in this way. Nobody can never make you be submissive in any way. Okay, that's fair.
And I respect your position too. Like, maybe I need to get rid of my ego a little bit. But
it's not like that no more because Tyler Perry, I just can't.
Every time I hear like, submission, like now echoing in my study, I think about like these degrees that Justin and I got together, us climbing the corporate ladder together. Like when he got there, it was like, you know what? You need to get your endorsement so that you can become an assistant principal. And I'm like, dude, I don't want that. And he's like, okay, so you don't want it, but get it anyway because it opens up doors. Oh, like we got our third degree. Let's go get this doctorate degree. And We did it
Mm-hmm.
together. And when he had to go to work early so he could get some time in, I got the kids. When you got to go and stay at work late, I got you, boo. And then he got his. And then it was the roles were reversed. And so I could get mine. Like that,
Mm-hmm.
being submissive
And I don't like
and
I
getting
don't
this
like a
shit
man that
done.
got it all together. I don't like
You don't like a man that got it all
mm-mm.
together?
Let's
Because what do
grow and
we
glow
yes,
together.
what is our
Let's do
foundation
it together.
on
Let's keep
together?
going up and up together.
Okay, wait. So let's keep it realistic and let's bring it back down to us. Like when you say you don't like a man that has it all together at this day and age, what are you willing to accept that a man does not have and you're willing to work on with him so that he can get at 30, 30, how are you, 33, 34?
I'm 30. I'll be 31 in
You
November.
30? Oh yeah, I forgot.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm
And
30,
even that, I
y'all.
feel like it's a case by case basis because, again, for me, the foundation of relationship is friendship. So if you give something to me that is not tangible, like if you can teach me like how to be a better woman without making me feel like you are devaluing the woman that I already am, like you already up 100. You know what I mean? Like to me,
You met him and he didn't have a car.
See, things like that, I don't mean
but
no
that's
harm,
like,
but
yeah.
like that's a turn off to me.
But
Like
I
I don't
mean,
mean no harm. Like if
I agree. But I
and
meant in
I
terms of like,
call it ego, call it whatever. But what I'm bringing to this mother, I'm the table right here, okay? And if you're gonna come to the table with no car, unless you got a good ass explanation, like it's in the shop
No car.
or
No.
I'm
No
like
car.
what?
but I mean in
No,
terms of status, like you were talking about Tyler Perry, that's too much for me. Like I want somebody where we can look back in
agreed.
5 years and say, look what we did. Because now I know outside of like the cute dates and the fancy trips and shit, like we can really get shit done as a couple. So
Absolutely.
if I'm down bad for the hell, when I have our children and I need to take a step back and be a mother, I know that you still got the household because we know how we maneuver, like we know how we work together. If Mary the maid can't come one day, my shit gonna be a mess because we never like taken that time or had to come together and learn. I like things in a certain place. You like your things in a certain place. So as a unit, we know how we are. I don't know. I just don't like. I don't have a
So to be
appreciation for a
clear,
ready-made nigga. Like,
but to be clear, because you don't want a ready-made nigga, and you, the person, he cannot come to your table without the basics. What are the basics? Can we define what the basics are? You don't have to be ready-made billionaire status already. You guys can grow to that. But what is the basics at this very day and age? What is the basics? That's something
that's
that's
so
like,
hard to
nah.
say.
I
And I think
agree.
it's hard to say for me because I had to start over. So I was in a
Okay,
situation where
yeah, with
everything was like combined and we got this. And then it was like, hold on, this ain't what I want. So let me start my foundation over. So because I know what it's like to start over, now I understand that it's not always because, how can I explain it? Sometimes it's because life happens. Life happened. You thought
yeah, for
life was
sure.
going. So now I have a better understanding that. So I'm not as harsh on people that may be in that same situation. And again, for me, because I've been in situations where it was like status wise, you are there. Like you got what the basics. You got a car. You got a house. But you're a horrible ass person. Like you,
Mm-hmm.
when I'm having a date, like you can't cater to me emotionally. So to me, that's why I've learned to have a greater appreciation. Like I'm actually, I don't know, like when I say like around the way girl, like I get a kick out of, or I'm attracted to like personalities. I'm attracted to, okay, you might not have it right now, but let's talk and let's see, like when we put our minds together, how big can we think? Like with some shit that together we can make happen. That yeah, I can get it by myself, you can get it by yourself, but together it's gonna be like dope as fuck because we doing it together.
Mm.
So for me, I thrive off of like I'm always an advocate for um the little man, like the person whose story is not, it wasn't conducive to like this
Mm.
grand
The underdog.
yeah, the underdog. It wasn't
Mm.
conducive to where you are now, but you found out a way to go and get it. Like I love, to me, like I am so turned on by like a man's mental.
Mm.
That's where my value lies, because like I said, somebody can
Mm.
have it all and then I mean like the situation we talk about, Cam Newton, and look at like that's not, that wouldn't work for me. I
Mm-hmm.
cannot devalue myself as a woman. I've done the work. Like I know what it is to have peace now. So I don't give a damn if you got 5 mansions and a Rolls Royce. Like if you get on my damn nerves, you gotta go. Like that's just
This
not
guy
gonna.
said, Wes, he said, I'm not dating because women here in ATL do not want to build together. I have the basics, but it's not enough. I'm starting from scratch since relocating to ATL. So,
And I
how
do
do we
think
feel
women,
about
I
that?
think sometimes we as women, we do have a sense of entitlement. And that's, I don't know. I
Dr.
think
Falika, what do you
we've
think?
lost.
Like,
I think that everything starts with communication and acceptance and friendship. So, like,
mhm,
first of all, I got to be attracted to you. If I'm
mhm,
not attracted to you physically, I'm not going to come and talk to you. And I even might, but if I got to lay up beside you every day and wake up with you, like, I just got to be physically, I can look at you. Like, I like you. And if I can't get that, you can't get the rest of me. But, and then, like, I got to see your personality, blah, 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 blah. But I don't know. Like, I feel
mm,
like in the, if you're starting, and I mean, I don't know, shit, I've been married for fucking 8 years. I don't know. But like, I feel like if you're starting over, then like you said, Chantrice, everything starts with a conversation and leads into friendship.
mhm,
And that friendship can go many directions, right?
mhm,
And you can truly be friends with that man. And who's to say you can't be friends with this man and build with him, being a friend?
mm,
And you can be friends with a man and it turns into something totally different because
right,
of he has what you got. He has, or
mm,
what you want. Like he has that. And you go that direction. So I don't know. Like,
mm,
I don't know what the basics, I- like for me, you just gotta, you gotta have something comparable to me. And I ain't talking about
mhm,
degrees. And
mhm,
like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. You just gotta
mhm,
match my drive,
mhm.
my
Mhm.
I think
life.
for me too, I feel like I've been in a rebuilding phase as an adult too several times, you know. For me, I think I am more so attracted by intellect, by hustle, you know, by
Mhm.
determination. You know, you may not have a car right now, or you may not have a job, but what's the circumstances surrounding your situation?
Good.
And if you don't have a car, uh,
What's your plan to get one?
what's your plan to get one? Do you not have a plan? Um, you know, gonna lie to you. I'm 34. I don't have any children, and I do desire to be married one day. And I've been on my own since I was 17.
Mhm.
So I'm talking about having my first apartment at 17 years old. So it's so easy to do certain things out here that there's really little to no room for excuses. Because I don't want to hear that it's hard to get a car when there's so many buy here pay here places, or there's just so many avenues that you can do. There's so many things that you can do to make money that doesn't require a degree, doesn't require, you know, as a man, you have more physical strength than a woman does, so you can go and wash cars, you can go and cut grass, you can go, you know, especially if I see that you're investing your money into, let's say, buying games and buy Xboxes and doing shit that's not really productive for your growth. What are you doing to grow yourself? I think that's more so what I'm attracted. And then of course, once I see that okay, they're not there, I'm immediately not attracted because we're not even on the same thinking level. So it's hard for me though, as women who probably drive luxury cars. It is hard for me as a woman who drives a substantial car with a substantial car note to date someone who don't even have a car. I'm not even saying you got to have a luxury car like mine, but can how are you going to get back and forth to where you need to go if something happens to you, or you know, like I want to make sure that a person can take care of themselves before we join together. So having a car is a representation of I'm taking care of myself, because if I need to get back and forth somewhere, I can take myself. Having income, whatever your job is. You could be a doctor, you could be a street pharmacist. You need to be bringing in some money so that you can take care of yourself. So how can you eat? Because if you don't have those basics, then I can't see myself combining anything with you to make it more or better, you know, and in turn, I'm probably not going to submit to
So are you
Mm-hmm.
saying, okay, let me ask you this. When you said some sort of income or car, okay, so would you have more respect for the guy that's a street pharmacist and has a car opposed to the guy who, and not to say that's a whole nother conversation, like right, the idea of right and wrong.
you.
Opposed to the guy that may not have a vehicle, but he is I was about to say college student, but we're a little bit too old for that. But you know, he has an investment idea, and so he's saying, you know, right now, a car would just take away from the money that I could be saving for this.
Like a Lawrence off of Insecure.
I don't watch Insecure. Don't shoot me.
Oh my God.
I'm not a
Where's
TV
your
girl,
black card?
unless it's
Oh my
Martin.
God.
So,
how old are we talking?
all right.
How old is this person? If he's 34,
Yeah.
no.
Wait, no what?
No, I wouldn't. I would prefer the street pharmacist with the car because I feel like at 34, if he's 34 and he has this investment idea, I'm just going to say he's a graduate of college because that's a really good. But you probably graduated college probably 10 years ago. I'm just going to give him the benefit of the doubt that he did 4 years in college and 2 years post grad. So, what are you doing?
Late? What if he went to grad school late and he just graduated?
No.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I'm not disagreeing
because you can get any kind of car. You can get a motorcycle.
Would you date him if he had a motorcycle, a motor scooter? Same.
I mean, Darius Lovehall had a motorcycle in Love Jones. You know, that's my favorite movie. He had a motorcycle. He was able to get where he needed to go.
That ain't what I asked you. Would you date him? Because you saying he gotta have something. So would you date him?
No. Oh, Wes wants to hop in.
How can you see that? I don't see anything.
Oh, because I think it's my live. So I think this is really good. We'll have another guy jump in. I'm sorry. I'm not.
Mr. West.
I know, right? Hey, Mr. West, you need some light on you.
Hi, ladies.
How are you?
Nah, since I'm listening, there's enough light right here.
Introduce yourself. Who are you? What's your name? What's your details? Thank you for supporting our live tonight.
All this great information y'all sharing. Y'all been sharing some great gems on here. So I want to
taking notes, Wes?
I took a couple. The biggest thing, though, my name's Keon. They call me Mr. West. I'm originally from LA. Relocated to ATO next month, make 5 years for my children, for my two boys. I have two boys with two great moms. And my oldest son, mom said, hey, I got the job offer in Dubai. I leave in a week. I want you to continue to raise our son here in Atlanta. So I dropped everything and left. So
okay. That's dope.
That is dope.
It wasn't the easiest transition going from the West Coast to the South. I don't know if you caught that, but it definitely taught me about maturity. It definitely taught me about, of course, co-parenting, and so much more I can make reference of. And before I continue about me, I want to make sure I say this. I had told a bunch of, sent this to a bunch of people on, I have a Black Love podcast as well and a Black Love group. So I've sent it to them. So you probably see me saying, hi, this, hi, that, because they're part of that group. And we've been kind of going back and forth. Like, y'all see that? I've been telling y'all the same stuff. Y'all ain't listening. Y'all hear it right here. But, you get different results when you hear from different people.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that. So, Wes, what are your thoughts on, just to touch briefly, what are your thoughts on submission, on a woman being submissive, since that is the topic of tonight, submission? What do you think about that?
I mean, do you want to be led by a fool? Do you want to submit to someone who don't even know how to tie their own shoe? Now, let me make sure I say this properly. And I just had this conversation over maybe 3 or 4 times over the last couple of days. But the point is submit. That doesn't mean I own you. It's submit. That means, okay, I feel comfortable enough within my life to say, hey, I see that you're a leader. I see that you can lead. You're leading your household properly. You're leading maybe the community properly. And I have recognized that, so that way I feel comfortable in saying, you know what, I can take my guard down, because if I'm speaking from a woman's point of view, which I've never been a woman in my life, I'm 43, so that's that part of it. I'm very lesbian. But if what? I'm sorry. Since moving here, you have to say stuff like that. But anyway,
I get you.
But the point I'm trying to make is, you're always, and you're being the woman, you're always you're being the crown, you're being the strong, Black woman, you're being, all of these things. So when you actually can take off that crown for 1 second and put it away and feel comfortable enough to say, you know what, he has my back. He has my best interest at heart. Then you can properly submit. Yeah. But you're not going to submit to a fool. Yeah. So that's why I say that. Because some of these guys get mad because they won't, submit.
And I'm also not going to submit to someone who is leading me on to a path of destruction. I'm not going to do that.
That part, and that's a big, huge thing. And I really feel that some guys just don't get it. She wants to submit to you, but you're not leading properly. Let's just cut to the bottom line. You're not communicating properly. Or something I said earlier, let's get real. They send their representative. You've seen their representative for 75 days, 150 days, a year, and they finally reveal who they really are.
I want to take this really left, because this is something that's really important. As women, the three of us.
Oh, that's y'all.
And then Wes, you could jump in on this. Let's be real when we answer now. Do you feel like you will respect or submit to a man who is not satisfying you sexually?
No, come on. I told you I was on a feeling. Heck no.
Like, if he could be perfect,
ma'am, I never tell a lie.
But if he's not satisfying you sexually because either the penis is lacking in it's lacking, or
you ain't getting that far. If your penis is lacking, you have stopped at the first night of intercourse.
I have submitted my request to withdraw from this situation.
So does he have to have a big penis, or
no? You gotta
know how to use it. Does he have to be sexually? Do we have to be sexually?
You said satisfied.
You gotta be emotionally compatible first, and then everything else we can talk about that. Because that's big for me.
Listen, I've had great interactions like with guys that's like, man, like, he checked most of the boxes. Once we closed the doors, and it was like, yeah, this is work. And because
from then on out, I'm sick. Like, no, I can't go around. I'm sick.
One of my close friends was like, well, this was like, I think I had to be maybe 21, 22. And I was just like, yeah. She was like, well, maybe this is a good time to try anal. I said, no.
You and this anal stuff.
No. It's not me. That was what the girl said in the interview.
And to some people,
that's why we brought it up.
To some people, sex is not like as important. I won't tell that lie. I cannot be fully.
Let's be honest. If we're not satisfied sexually, we're not submitting, because you can't tell me what to do unless you can tell me.
I don't look at you like a big.
That makes sense.
Okay.
I'm letting the women have that part. I'll wait.
So no, but as a guy, for yourself, would you be with a woman and be like, hey, let me protect, honor, serve, blah blah blah, but she doesn't satisfy you sexually? She's a great mother, she's a great companion, she's a great whatever, she allows you to lead, but she doesn't satisfy you sexually either.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna be dead honest on this, and I see a lot of my friends hopping on us, and they probably know me on this. It ain't lasting. Sorry. Pineapples, no, gotta go. I can hook you up with a homeboy. It ain't me, because I'm a man of pleasure. And if I'm not being pleased properly, then why am I going to continue to try to teach you? Because I'm going to try to teach you how I like it. And you still can't
Okay.
fulfill that, it ain't going to work. I'm sorry. And regardless of
We'll
my
let
side.
go of a potential perfect mate.
Absolutely.
They're not
Satisfied
perfect.
sexually.
Who said
But
they
are they
perfect? No one's
Well,
perfect?
perfect.
nothing's
No one's
ever gonna be
perfect.
perfect. We never gonna get 100%. We only gonna get 80. We do know
We're
that,
going to get
right?
80.
But if that
Right. We're
80
going to get 80.
ain't sex ain't in that 80, you're gone.
You
Like, we're
better
not
be,
having kids. We
it better be above
not.
69 or 60 something.
You can't give me a 60 nobody. If you can't
No.
do it, then
I mean, let's just be real. Let's get to a big part of why cheating happens. They're not being fulfilled. Let's just be real
Well,
about
and
it.
I mean, that don't
now.
necessarily have to be
Granted, there's other
sexually,
avenues.
though.
There's other avenues, but uh, we can say at least 40% of maybe some relationships have ended because of cheating, because their partner was fulfilling them.
But when you think about like the idea of, okay, we're gonna use like the side chick that knows her place. To me, that may be a turn off for some men, because that is a way that she's submitting to him. She knows her place. So if you're a woman at home that's not, maybe that's, to him, he doesn't feel like he's being led. And I'm not saying it's right. Hell no, cheating is like my non-negotiable across the board, but I can understand it. So that's another thing. Because I understand why something happens doesn't mean I agree with it, but I have the emotional intelligence to at least try to reason and understand. That don't mean I have to accept it. So from that perspective, I do get why cheating happens for men that feel like they're not respected at home or blah blah blah. They're not wanted at home because she making you feel like that nigga. Because she knows she can't call you between after this time. You know, she gotta kind of be on your time in a sense in certain situations. So I get it, and I do
I mean,
think
she
that
But
knows
you
some
her
men
have
place.
like that
men.
fulfillment. Some women are
You
going for
have
that
men
shit.
who are cheating because of their wife or their mate won't have a threesome,
Everybody is doing what benefits them at that time. So for that man, the idea of
won't do anal.
getting with two women outweighs whatever him and his wife got going on. Unfortunately, and that's just being real. We all do what benefits us the best in the moment. So it ain't even
So,
necessarily about, I don't think all the time it's coming from like what you're not doing on other levels. Is that like, I really want this, you ain't willing to do it, it's something I feel like I need to get off.
I remember someone I dated last year, kind of going back to the whole threesome thing, right? Someone I dated last year. Um, some folks probably know this, some don't. You know, I've dealt with open relationships. I've dealt with the whole poly life a little bit lightweight. And I've dealt with a bisexual girlfriend I had when college and moved forward. So I'm comfortable, is what I'm saying. I know who I am.
Mm-hmm.
I met someone last year, and I told her up front, this is who I am. I'm used to it, you know, in terms of all that fun stuff. That's that. My son's over here, so I'm trying to, not say too much. But my point is, she kept saying, like, where have I been? Have I been living under a rock or something? Because I keep hearing this. And I had a big page on Clubhouse, and this is how these conversations started. So we started dating. It was great. It was cool. I ain't gonna lie. We had a good time. Till we out. One of my girlfriends came. Hey, Wes, what's up? And her and my friend hit it off. They was loving each other. They was just cool. And I'm like, all right, I'm over here. I said, let me be mindful of what's about to happen. Let me pay attention what's taking place. So make a long story short, my friend invited the girl over. And I said, you sure you want to do that? You understand what's going on here. Y'all both intoxicated. Y'all been flirting heavily on each other. I understand what's taking place. And I said, I'm going to stop drinking because I see this once again. They rode in the car together, start kissing one another, et cetera, et cetera. We get to the crib. They started going at it. I did just like this. So I'm just going to sit back and observe this from a point of view, to where now I'm now kind of being involved in it, but staying to myself, still not aggressive. Basically, make a long story short, the friend told me, my friend said, hey, you have the A-OK to do as such. All right. So her and I started. And then this is the reality. Once you hear the other person moan or the other person being pleased, can you handle that reality at that moment? She didn't. She flipped out. The rest is history.
Mm.
And that's why I mean by understanding, well, y'all said it earlier, and shout out to the brother who was on here too earlier. You got to know who your mate is. You got to know who your partner is, because, and you have to ask these type of questions and put real life scenarios in there, because, you know, the threesome sounds nice, the foursome sounds nice, but it's much more than that. It's much more than literally having, you know, we talking about the physical. We ain't gonna talk about the emotional aspect of it. You know what I'm saying? Unless, you know, you got your heart, this emotion just 100% cut out. So, you know, it's a slippery slope is what I'm saying. You know, watch what you ask for. And more
Right, right,
importantly,
right,
if you
right,
even
Not
right.
it.
handle, you can't even handle one, how you gonna
I
handle two
know
or
I
three?
can't.
That's another
Count
story.
me out. Cause who mom? Get your shit and get out. I'm not there for it. No.
Listen. I think that, you know, with sex comes a little bit of submission, you know, in a sense, because you're being open and you're being vulnerable or whatever. But you definitely have to know what you can handle. You have to know. You just, you know, and I think, you know, speaking for myself, I've never, and I probably will never, because I know I couldn't fucking handle it. I would want to fight, or,
Now,
you know.
Tonight done cheated on me, even though we agreed to it. Because I don't like how it made me feel.
Right. Like, I feel like you cheating on me in
So
my
why
face.
you ain't know
like,
that I'm gonna be able to handle this?
I got a question. So if Tyler Perry, back then, because you said back then, so I'll be nice. So Tyler, you was with Tyler TP back then, and he said, "Hey, I want to bring someone in."
Tyler, it'll be a
I'm messing with
dude,
you. I
first of
had
all.
to.
No.
I'm sorry. That was a joke. I
You
was
know.
joking.
Oh no. Mm-mm.
I'm
No, but
sorry.
you
I
know
had
what?
to.
But you know what? To be honest with you, no, I
Uh-huh.
would not allow a threesome or whatever. But if I'm going to be honest and really transparent, I don't believe that men can be faithful. It is my desire that I hope that I have a faithful husband. But I'm not oblivious to the fact that it is a struggle for some men. So I would be more forgiving of an infidelity, of like a sexual mishap, than I would something else, because I just don't feel like certain men have it in them. I don't believe that all men are faithful, so I'm more lenient to the point to where, okay, you went to a bachelor party and you fucked a stripper. Like, if it's like those one-off type shit, even though it's all fucked up. It's all fucked up. It's all not.
I always say
Like, you had an ongoing relationship, you had a mistress for 3 and 4 years and an emotional connection. If you had something with somebody, no, because that means you're lying to me. It's a lot of stuff. But if you just got drunk, because I know that this has happened to someone personally, where her husband went on a guy's trip, he had too much to drink, and he fucked somebody, a random. She wasn't going to throw away her marriage over that for 10 years. It was a one-off, you know? That's something that I would accept, but I'm not accepting him saying, "Come on, baby, let's invite somebody in our bedroom." No, I'm not doing that.
Okay. I'll go this route. I'll share this point of view. So, being 43, I've dealt with the faithfulness as long, you know, the traditional for many years. And I've also dealt with, once again, I made reference of having a bisexual girlfriend. I feel at this stage of life, and I've said this many times, if you want somebody, you being the woman, if you want someone, I'd rather you tell me. And that way I'll be like, all right, cool. As long as he's not just physically stable, but mentally stable, mentally healthy. Because I don't want to sit here and be like, all right, who you going out with, and do I have to work? No, be honest with yourself.
You mean like you okay with her having a boyfriend?
Yeah.
You okay with your wife having a boyfriend outside of you?
Just be honest.
Are you okay with it because you two feel like the idea of monogamy is too far gone? Like, have you conditioned yourself to be okay with it, or is it something you can really say if you knew your wife was walking out the door to go fuck off on somebody else, you'd be like, see, when I get back, you can go eat popcorn and be okay with it?
I'd be like, hold on, where my bag at?
Oh, I got to be by myself.
All right,
Why you
I'll
feel
be
like
like,
you need?
I'm
Okay,
not
wait. So let
I'd
me
be
read some of the
honestly,
comments.
honestly, I'd be like, be safe, have fun, enjoy yourself. And granted, I've dealt with it. So that's
Currently
part
on
of the
right
reason
now
why.
at 43 years of age, is that where you are right now?
honestly, I'm so focused on family and once again building my stability out here in ATL that I'm not dating, so I'm not even like entertaining that whole thought. Now, granted, and that's kind of been this year. I had some stuff happen to me this year that curveball came. So I heard a question earlier that talked about what if he had it and then he lost it. Y'all talked about that. So thank you for making reference to that because that's a real thing. I had it all working in the mayor's office, this and this, and it's gone. Now I'm starting from scratch again. So, with all that being said, I think it's just more of what I have patience on. And once again, being honest with myself, I've seen my woman have sex with another dude right there. And
in front of
saying,
you?
hey.
Oh.
But I've also, in my younger days, have had.
Chartreuse is like,
I'm getting anxiety.
Right. Oh, I can tell. I got stories. I got stories for days.
Wait. I want to ask Dr. Falika because she's married. Dr. Falika, if your husband,
this is Dr. Falika, I know.
If your husband went on a guy's trip for Junior's bachelor party and had sex with a stripper, would you forgive him and accept him back? Like, and let's say, because a lot of people will determine that based off of how they found out. Say you found out because it got sent to your inbox on Instagram. Let's not even say that he was honest and was forthcoming and told you, like, babe, I fucked up. What if you just found out a clip just got deposited in your inbox and the bachelor party was 3 months ago and, whatever. Like, would you forgive him and take him back? Like, how, as a married woman, how would you handle that?
Honestly, I just hope he got enough money because he gone.
And you know what? I just contradicted myself because I always say, let me not say how I'm going to handle a situation because until you are in that situation, you don't know how you're going to handle it. However, as it stands today, because what do we have? Like, my foundation just crumbled. Like, I don't trust you.
Broke the fuck out of that shit.
So
you
why,
broke
like, I can't, like, now that vulnerability, that sense of security is gone.
No motherfucking way. You ain't gonna be able to, like, and I'm not that woman. Look,
I'm not going through phones. It's too much.
I have, and that's what I'm saying. I'm not doing that.
Going on. If you
I have no reason to do that.
Figure out where you at, where you going, who you gonna be with, when you coming back. No.
Now you throwing me off my hustle because I got anxiety.
If that's
worried
how
about
I gotta think, look,
no.
I don't have
now keep this in mind.
I done had going on with my life. Like, take your ass.
Now keep this in mind. And granted, I remember one of my first relationships, she dumped me. She literally dumped me. And she said because I was too nice. And I was like, because I opened the doors, gave you flowers, wrote you this, wrote you letters, did the whole wrote letters. Remember that? Took her out and all these things. She dumped me and got with my so-called best homeboy. And they was together for a little bit. And then he treated her like crap. And she had the nerve to try to come back and say, I'm sorry. You treated me so great. And I want to be back with you. So that kind of. And then fast forward, no one's perfect. But it was just like, wow, I did everything to be perfect, mate, for you. So once again, in living that, once again, traditional type of mindset, type of lifestyle, I did everything possible to find my wife.
And it backfired on you, so that's why you no longer live a traditional lifestyle anymore.
No, I just don't got time for the BS. I'd rather you be honest, tell me what you want, don't send your representative, send you, and just, go from there. Granted, I can be faithful to one woman. Yes, easily, no problem. If she's, of course, worth it, just like if he's worth it, right?
How you know she's going?
No. I mean, we can pray and all of that, but you won't know until.
How you know what? Would you say, Dr. Falika?
How you know she's worth it if you going every which way or you're allowing her to go every which? I mean, I'm not allowing her, but if that's like what I guess I'm having a conflict of trying to figure out how do you figure out she's the right one?
That you trust me, I've had that conflict in my mind for years, so I get it, and it's
still on a journey.
It's constantly changing.
I mean, it's a constant change. Yes, it's a constant. It's constant prayer. It's constant manifestation of what you actually want in terms of your partner, and being honest in terms of what will Continue. How will she challenge you and make you the best man that can be, which y'all talked about earlier, which I love that part as well. I just think it's a matter of just, once again, being honest with myself and her being honest with herself. Now, granted, kind of going back to what you're saying, Doc, which I love, is the fact that you can't just be going out, in the words of Coming to America, and selling my raw oats everywhere either. You know what I'm saying? I got to be mindful and have judgment and self-control and discipline in terms of who I am with. So that takes a lot of, once again, discipline as well. So,
and then too, I feel like men, if I'm your wife, people are going to respect me based off, like, you're supposed to set the standard in terms of how I'm respected. Like, you can't be ready to pop off to other people and they know you out here doing this, that, and the third. So I'm big on like that aspect of like, make us look good as a unit and integrity. Like, if I can't trust you to go to your homeboy bachelor party, like, if all that it takes is time and place for you to do some shit and fuck up what we built over 10 years, like, so I'm not gonna tell you what you can't do, but I'm gonna sit back and see what you choose to do, and then you allow me. Then I have the choice to determine if, like, I still see you in the same light, if you're still a suitable partner for me. And I think that's what we're eliminating too, the option of a choice. The choice doesn't have to be, well, either I'm with somebody where I allow myself to be mistreated and I allow things that don't make me feel good for the sake of being with somebody. I can be by myself. And that was a part of like my personal growth, like acknowledging that if it comes down to that, it's not necessarily where I saw things like in terms of like my life, but at this point in my life, because of the work that I've done, if that's what it takes for me to be able to wake up every day and know I'm walking in how the light in which I see myself and not allowing another person to make me feel less than, that's just what it is.
You know what's so funny? And I want to wrap this up since we're coming up on 10 o'clock. I remember years ago when I was a child, you know, I'd say not supposed to be in grown people's conversations, but I was listening to a grown person's conversation in a beauty salon, and pretty much a woman had got cheated on by her husband in that very same instance. You know, they were married. So this was in the like mid 90s. So they were married, had 2 small children. You know, they were like FAMU graduates, like very well-to-do Black couple, you know, whatever. But he cheated on her, and she let his ass go. And all of the women in the salon was pretty much like saying, like, girl, okay, he cheated. It was just one time. Like, he's a good man. He's a good father, a good provider, good whatever. And she was just like, no. And y'all are fucking crazy if you think that that's okay. And that's what she said, because like you said, if it took him just that one time, what you gonna do? And another time when you're drinking again, what you gonna do when another opportunity presents itself to where you probably had a little bit too much to drink at a holiday party? And I'm paraphrasing, but I remember a lot of the women in the salon was like, girl, you crazy. That's fine, because and he fine too. If you don't want to, somebody gonna snatch him up. And sure enough, years later, she divorced him. She divorced him at the time, got full custody of the kids. He did whatever, but he was remarried within a year and a half. He was remarried. But guess what? So was she. She was like, listen, I know I wanted something better for me, and I got the lid to my pot. That's what you have to figure out.
You're willing to bet on you.
Your pot, you know? And I remember thinking like, damn, would I stay with my husband if he cheated? And I think as a child, my perceptions of cheated was altered because of I never saw a faithful husband, father, nothing. So I have this mindset that every man will cheat, but what's the circumstances surrounding it? And that's not healthy either. I'm still a work in progress. But I do feel like there is not so much good cheating and bad cheating, but if you got me out here and everybody know that you fucking bitches when you go down to the local bar, and you got me out here looking crazy, you having babies on me, like we're not going for none of that. We're not going for the lack of respect. But I do feel like there's a little bit of grace that does need to be given sometimes when people make a mistake. Now, cheating is a really big mistake.
Is it a mistake?
It's a decision.
Like, it's a decision. It's a choice. Like, you know,
mistake is like, oop, I backed the car into this pole.
It makes it more acceptable. But at the end of the day, like, I've been drunk and had fucking one night stand. That's what I chose to do, and I wasn't drunk enough. I was drunk, but still in my right frame of mind to say, I'm fucking him tonight, though. Like,
and then as a wife, You
and
binged mama
later
before and brought your ass home. Yeah.
Queens, can I
Let
ask
me
y'all a
read some
question?
of the comment. Hold on, let me read some of the comments. It said, the way I find out will definitely determine the end result. This millionaire said it depends on if it's the first time. Has he displayed this type of behavior before? And oh, Ms. Million, in response to what you were saying, was she said, is she really your woman if she desires another man nonetheless to do it in front of you?
I saw that.
So,
I saw that comment. That was a great comment.
mm,
And I
Let me
always
ask
mm,
this,
say,
ladies.
oh, go
Can I
ahead.
ask y'all a question? Have any of
sure.
y'all ever cheated?
That's why I left my
Mm.
last
oh,
relationship because I
well,
wanted to.
hold
It
on.
got to the
Now,
point
oh
where
my,
I wanted to.
I
no,
mean,
but
I'm sorry. I asked these questions right back. Have y'all ever cheated? I mean, blink your eye if you have.
I've
I
never
have.
cheated.
I have. I have.
I see some
Um,
eyes being blinked.
yes, I have cheated in one relationship. Hmm.
I heard someone said,
Who,
I've
me?
cheated in some of my past relationships. Absolutely.
And I
and
haven't. I haven't. And that's why I was in a long-term relationship, engaged in everything. And when it got to the point where I really had a desire to go out and cheat, I said, like, that was my line in the sand. Like, mm-mm.
I
That's
Mm.
when
asked
I
that
knew it was
Miss
time to
because
Millionaire
leave.
says she have, and she was happy for me. It was all about the
it
thrill.
was all about the thrill. Cue Miguel on that. Let me go back before we wrap up. Like I heard you say you want to wrap up, and I want to emphasize the whole the comment about um, uh, what I made reference of earlier in the comment of some women don't want to grow and build together. And I heard this earlier. Some want a finished product. They want the guy who already is successful in X, Y, and Z. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's your choice, of course, you know, wherever makes you happy. If that's what you prefer, that's what you prefer. I have moving here was parental. Moving here was for family's sake, you know. And since being here, I had to make the best of it in terms of creating my own businesses and stuff of that nature. But in creating my own businesses, obviously, I'm applying for other jobs. My background is in education and entertainment. I used to teach at UCLA and other things. And I couldn't even get an interview at Georgia State or Clark Atlanta and all of these colleges here. And I'm like, y'all want another black educator here, like a black male educator? So that kind of made me shake my head, and to where I had to go down to damn Tom, Dick, and Hake and work in the damn kitchen, and then work over here with Marta and do research on with them. And granted, paying way below what I'm used to, but I had to do what I had to do for my family's sake. Some guys didn't, some women don't want to deal with that. And it was just like really discouraging. Like, I'm doing whatever I can to provide for my family. And, you know, I'm not saying I'm trying to marry you today, tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
but I just want companionship and, you know,
Mm-hmm.
to grow into something special. Because I know my value. I know my worth. You talking about
Mm-hmm.
what you bring to the table. I'm bringing the office. Forget the table. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? That's how I look at that. So with all that being said, it was very discouraging. Been very
Mm.
discouraging because of that. So, you know, and I talked to a few women about this and had this on my podcast in terms of this particular topic, which I will invite y'all next Friday, July 22nd, Salt and Pepper Kitchen. I have a Black Love panel called Why Are Black Men and Women Fighting with One Another Instead of Coming Together and Loving One Another? So check that out. But I have these conversations, and to be honest, I'm curious to know why is that? Why we can't really just build something special? Granted, I get it. Some have done that. Some have been burnt by that because the guy sold the dream. He was a gaslighter. He was narcissistic, etc., etc., etc. All the things. I get that part of it. But when someone's actually genuine, wholesome, and actually has value,
Mm.
I leave it
And
there.
then I think
Mm.
about things too to wrap up on my part in terms of like the spiritual journey. I always say everybody has their own separate journey. So when you meet somebody, you determine if they are at a part of their journey in which you wish to hold their hand, or like don't judge their journey, just say this ain't for me. And I told my cousin this, we were having a conversation about like that idea of ready made. God's timing is everything. So while I'm passing judgment on you because of where you are in life, what if your journey alongside me is going to be the reason why 10 years down the road you have an answer to a question that comes up in my business and you saved me $1 million? Whereas because I thought I was so far ahead of you in life at however many years, I said, what, 10 years ago? And I passed up on that opportunity for us to build together. Now I'm paying $1 million for some shit. If I would have been patient and allowed you to have your journey, you were my answer to a prayer in the future that I didn't even know I was gonna have. But because I didn't have respect for that journey and allowing you to have your journey alongside me while I'm still growing too, now I got $1 million, $1 million problem that if I would have took a chance on you, you probably would have had the answer because I allowed you to have your journey or go through your journey. So that's the stuff like now I think about. Like, I don't want nobody that's ready made. Let's work together.
And like, that's why I say friends, like, because you never know what direction that go. Because y'all don't have to be in a committed relationship to be on the same path or the path that bump into each other to save each other.
Like
well,
you said,
Wes, absolutely. Wes, I appreciate you for jumping in on us. The three of us are going to close it out.
I mean, I had to. 3 beautiful Black queens on here. The brother Wes here. No one gonna hop in.
You're so crazy.
But nah,
thank you for joining us.
But I want to make sure y'all know this is vital. These conversations are vital, and I want to make sure it was very classy, it was very grown too, very mature, and that's why I mean these type of conversations are vital. If we, especially us Black folks, are going to have some type of Black love, we need these type of conversations so that way we can break this mold and say, hey, we are talking about it. We are sharing, granted, kind of preaching to the choir in a sense, but we are coming together and having this dialogue because a lot of people are not. They just talk it and they don't really know what the hell they're talking about.
Right. Amen. So we'll catch you next time, Wes. We're going to 3 of us to close it out. Thank you for joining.
I'm about to watch it. Bye,
okay. Bye. So that was so good that he was able to join us, Lacario too as well. I feel like we had some really insightful conversation tonight. Like I feel like this was a really good path to clearer understanding different viewpoints and stuff like that. What do you guys think?
Oh, absolutely.
I agree.
Having their point of views, that was everything necessary.
Yeah, so we definitely have to do this again. You guys want to cheers it out? I cheers us in. Hey, Dr. Falika, I feel like you got something.
You got it, Falika. I got water.
What I got?
I got water too, buddy.
Ice water. Well, look, this was amazing. And to all of the viewers and, the people who came and stuck it out with us to the end. And even if you came in the middle, I hope that you took something away from this. This was truly, I am honored, honestly, invited to participate in my first podcast.
Yes, look at that. Look at that. So this is a desire of Chantrice and I. We want to take this national, right? Bigger. Globally.
I love it. And you will. I promise you that, and you will. And this was a great talk, and I want to come back for more. And I've honestly learned a lot from listening to you ladies and the 2 men on this podcast.
I learned a lot too. I actually learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about myself because I think I said some things tonight that when I think about, like, maybe I really don't want to.
And that's what it's about. I love it.
You know? Like, I felt like I was okay, but then I'm like, nah. And then I also learned, too, about a woman, not so much staying in her place or knowing when to be quiet, but knowing when to just and allow the man to lead in the way that he feels is right and safe for the relationship. Because, like, I didn't think about the whole, he was handling this situation that way because what if that guy was armed or something like that? I didn't even think about that. So it definitely changed my thought process on some stuff too. So I appreciate it. I got to allow myself to be protected because I'm so used to protecting my damn self.
You know, a strong, and this is the cheers, right? You know, to everybody who sits there and look at us and say, oh my God, look at those strong women. You know what? Even strong women want to be vulnerable at some point.
Absolutely.
And taken care of us and cuddled and kissed on, and like even we want that. And so tell your friends that, you know, when you have a strong woman in your presence, please do know that that strong woman wants somebody to take her vulnerable and relax, just scoop her up and just love her. Love her.
Amen. Amen. That's the word right there. I'm cheering to that with my perfect lemon water. Cheers.
That was it, Falika.
That's the wrap. Thank you for tuning in to Grown Women Business. I am your host, Robin Jasmine.
And I am Chantrice Sherrill.
Dr. Falika.
All right. Black Girl Magic out.
Let's
Bye.
go.